Hello, welcome back to my channel. It is another day, another video. Wow, another video so fast. What am I doing with my life? I can't believe I'm filming another video. Anyway, today I am filming another sort of review, maybe just more like a fun video, and that is, if you can tell by the title already, me trying out a kids soap kit. I feel like I'm not that of experience of a soap maker, but I've been making soap long enough to know some basic stuff, and including I know how to do mountain pour stuff. So today is a soap video. So the kit I am doing today is the Wild Science Luxury Soap Kit factory thing. It's normally $29.99 from Toy World, but I got mine for $15. I'm not sure if it was a clearance sale or just a school holiday sale, because it is just the end of New Zealand school holidays right now, and if it is a clearance sale, well, this is not very helpful. But yes, you learn, it says on the box, you learn about liquid soap transitions, suspensions and pigments, and you can make soap art gifts, soap embeds and designer soaps. So yes, it is not suitable for anyone under the age of 8 and not suitable for children. That makes no sense for children under 36 months due to small parts. So once again, if you're under 8 but also 36 months, you can't use it. Yeah, and it comes with a whole lot of stuff, so I'll talk about what's inside it when we get to my desk. So yes, let's get on with the video. So I have the kit here. We're going to open it. It's not very like secure. Let's mention that. Cool. And inside the kit we have, let's move that out of the way. We have pigment soap, which is basically just titanium dioxide. Glycerin soap, you don't really get that much, but that's alright. This thing, I'm assuming it's just to hold stuff. A little container. You get gloves, 3 little pouring things, and a big pouring thing. You get a mold, which includes a heart, a flower heart, little angel, another heart, and a weird fairy thing. And you get, oh, this thing, which has a fragrance oil, which is rose, and 3 colorants, red, blue, and yellow, and then 4 popsicle sticks. It comes with a warning thing, which is great, and then it also comes with a little book. So if you go through the book, this is my first time looking at it. You have Fluffy Bugs, which is a great way to use your leftovers. Okay. Arty Soap, which is using different colours. Soap cutouts, which I guess you use on a china plate, and you use scissors. Yeah, scissors to do something. Soap statues and floating in perfumed air. So that's what this is for, where you put your embeds inside your soap bar. And then there's some more soap ideas. Soap bacon, soap fried egg, just random little things, which is experimenting with colour. So I like how there's a lot of stuff in it. There's no real instructions. So this is what we do first. There we go, I missed it. Which is talking about, basically you're using this mould, which has the fairy and stuff, to make your super soap shapes, and then from there you do your other stuff, which is pretty cool. So we're going to follow these instructions. Cool, so our first instructions are, you'll need from home thin oven gloves. Why do I need oven gloves? Oh, to hold this when it's hot, but I won't because I'm fine. So these are like non-stretch gloves, and they're a bit small. I guess they're for kids. But I'll still show you using them. We'll see how I go. I wish they'd included maybe a few sizes of gloves or something, just in case, because if you're a parent, that's helping how you meant to wear these if they're too small for your hands. So it says, step 2 after getting thin oven gloves is put 6 blocks of clear soap base into the big beaker. This is the big beaker. The next step is put the beaker in the microwave. Important, this is something you should note when doing mountain pour in general. Mount the soap on high for 20 seconds, watching all of the time. If it bubbles up in less than 20 seconds, it is too hot. If it is not melted, heat for 5 seconds until it is all liquid. And then we're going to use the small beakers to pour roughly 15 milliliters of soap into the small beakers. And we're going to have 20 milliliters of clear soap left over after. Hopefully that is the case. So I heated up my soap. It is actually quite warm, but it's fine for me personally. So I'm going to pour it off. And then the next step is add the perfume. Add 2 to 3 drops of perfume per soap. Well, per thing. So we're going to get this out. I think rose is like an odd scent for kids, but add 2 drops to each small beaker and stir with a clean or washed stick. And then fill some shape molds with the coloured soaps or even clear soap. I tried to do this yellow one, but I don't have enough soap, so I'm going to just pour a little bit of red in here, just so then I have enough to have a full character thingy. It says put them into the freezer until cold but not frozen. Be patient, wait until they are completely cold, then gently ease them out of the mould. And transparent soap shapes just right for a little gift. It says hint, store them in plastic wrap, and that's because mountain paw soaps tends to sweat, which means if it's exposed to air, little thing, how do you explain it? Like little bead droplets of water form on the soap. It's not like a bad thing, it doesn't look as pretty. So that's a good way to store them. And before using your soap, see page 2. Oh yes, so it talks about, it's really good in this instructions, it talks about patch testing, making sure that you're okay with the fragrance oil and colorants, and it has all these really good safety things which are really good for kids. So yes. For now I'm going to wait for these to dry. I'm not going to put them in the freezer just because I don't have any space in my freezer. And then I am going to do one of these experiments. I think I'm going to do the this one, the floating and perfumed air soap, because I want to try it out. So we're going to try this one over here. Cool, it's been an hour or so since I first did these, and I'm going to peel them out. They come out quite nicely, but because this is like plastic and not, what do you call it, silicone, I'm worried that it's going to break eventually. Cool. First of all, I'm just going to clean up around the edges of some of them. I don't think I'm going to use this one because, well, I guess I'll try do the tutorial thingy that I had, but so that's one of them. This one's a bit weird because I added the extra colour. It looks a bit odd, but it doesn't matter too much. This one's fine. This one probably looks the best. I really like this red colorant, and the one that's clear actually came out a little bit foggy, which is kind of normal for mountain paw, but yeah. Cool. So our next step is to get more gloves. I'm just going to go back to my normal gloves because I threw the other ones out, or put them somewhere, I don't know. And so we are going to do 2 of the little tutorials in the book. The first one we will do is not fluffy bugs, I don't want to do that one. Soap statues. So, choose a shape to be the base of your statue, and use something sharp, e.g. a nail file, to dig a small hole in the middle. So we're going to use this one because it's the one they kind of pictured, and we're going to use this one because it's the other one they pictured. So we're going to make a small hole. It doesn't say if you need to go the whole way through or not, but I'm imagining because we're going to be pouring some soap into it, we're just going to go part of the way in. Fill the hole with hot clear soap, and then dip your feet statue into hot soap for 5 seconds, and then put it into the hole. So I'm actually just going to use leftover soap from the last thing and heat that up and put it in. So I poured some soap into it, but you don't actually need to pour that much soap in because it actually comes out of the hole when you try to stick your little person in, and it's going to require a little bit of cleaning up to make it look pretty. Like, I'll zoom in, I'll show you at the end, but there's like some soap ran down the side and now it's not a very nice heart. But it's alright. It's a stand, it actually worked, I like that little idea. The next thing we're going to do is floating in perfumed air, which requires these pigmented soap. So it says, make sure the beaker is clean, melt 7 blocks of clear soap base, following step 2 and 3 on page 4 and 5 for heating instructions. After the soap has melted, add a few drops of perfume and stir. Pour about half of the clear soap base into the big mould. Cool in the freezer until it's nearly hard. Choose some shapes to embed in the soap mould. Place them face down on the clear layer. And then pour the remaining. So I'm a little bit confused as to when we use the pigment soap because I've never seen it. Oh, okay, you use it in arty soap. That's the only place I see it being used. Oh, and in fluffy bugs, but I'm not exactly sure what that is, and nor would I make it look pretty. So you don't really use this that much, and I think it would be cool if they gave it to you to use throughout the thing, not just for the clear soap. But we're going to use 7 of these blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're a little bit hard to break up, so I think this will be good if an adult can do it, and that's the 7th. So you have enough left over if you want to make more of these, or if you wanted to do even more. Basically you have enough for all the tutorials, I think. I'll have to calculate that and say if it's true or not, but I'm guessing you have enough for all the tutorials if you really wanted to. So I'm going to heat these up and then come make the soap. There's a lot of air bubbles in the soap as well, but that's alright because hopefully, well, it's what's caused this coloration where it's not clear, so hopefully they can all come to the top, and I might spritz it with some rubbing alcohol. So I'm going to leave this one to dry for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to come place this one and this one inside. I think I might struggle to actually get, I might just place this one because I might struggle to get the other ones to fit. But these two I will, I guess, make another soap with them, or maybe try out a different tutorial or something, we'll see. I really want to try this out, so I might make a soap that is 2 layers with 1 clear and then 1 of the pigmented soap base. So it's been like another 20 minutes and this is basically solid, but if you look, let me just adjust the camera, like all the colour has kind of seeped out, because I think that even though it doesn't tell you to pour this at a lower temp, if you do pour it like as soon as you finish heating it up, it melts the thing inside, which I didn't really think about. So yes, that is an issue. And also I'm trying to get it out, but I can't seem to, so I've got to figure out a way to break the seal, hopefully, because I want to reuse this mould. So let's see if I can do that. So I can also see that it's kind of, you can't see too well, let me, once again, it's kind of warped the top of it from the heat, which is not a good sign. So I'm going to see if I can reuse this mould. I kind of cracked it a little bit over here, but let's see if I can do the other thing, and I will adjust what I'm doing to hopefully not get this ugly bar of soap. We're back. There's a lot of things I liked and disliked about this kit. Mostly disliked. I think that because it's originally $30 but I got it for $15, it's more worth it for the price I paid for it versus if you're going to go pay for it full price. For example, the scent that was used was a bit odd in my opinion for a kids kit. Most children don't like the scent of rose, or it's not like something they rush out to go get. They're more interested in things like bubblegum or candy floss or caramel popcorn or something like that, and it's not hard to go source those scents, as there are a lot of companies that make scents and they're not that expensive. In fact, rose is kind of more on the medium range of scents I've seen versus things that I'm more interested in as a child. I'm not a child, I'm 21. As me knowing what children kind of like, it was just a bit odd, but it wasn't bad, it was just an interesting choice. But I know that's not like, the scents are not something that's often thought about. I've seen other kits that people do reviews on, and often Rose is the scent for them. I think it's just like a go-to, but I don't think it should be the go-to. Adding to that, I think that the colours are really good though. They were a bit, like, the packaging itself was really tiny, and mine dripped before I even managed to get it in, and then the cap came off while I was doing stuff, so that wasn't like the best packaging, but the colours are really pigmented and I really like that about it. The soap itself isn't bad, but I don't think they give you enough soap if you want to try out all the experiments. They only give you 24 blocks, which is a lot because most of them mention you need 6 to 4 blocks per thing, but there's about 6 tutorials in the whole thing, and I only did 2 of them, but I did one of them twice and I ran out of soap and I ended up using my own soap, which I also used 3 of their blocks for, and then 2 of my own Mountain Paw blocks for. And Mountain Paw isn't that expensive. I basically have the same similar stuff for my soap embeds that was $10 for a 1 kg block, and this was, I'm not sure how much it was for the whole thing, but it was quite a lot. I imagine that they could have put a little bit more in the kit itself. Just saying. The measuring cups and all the like little containers that came with were really good, except for the molds themselves. My little rectangular bar mold broke on the first time I was using it, so I ended up, for the 3rd time, because I ended up ripping it for my 2nd time using it, for the 3rd one that I did, I ended up using one of my own molds, which is fine, but not everyone has their own soap molds, so if you're doing this with more than one kid and they both want to do the same sort of thing, they kind of miss out. And also the molds themselves, I like them personally, but I think that it wasn't very child friendly. There was nothing like, the fairy and the little angel thing weren't very like kiddie like in my opinion. They were more mature and something that some of my age or older would probably be wanting as a soap, maybe like my grandma or something. So I think that they kind of missed the mark on the molds that they got to use, but there were some of the cool things inside of the actual like booklet, which is like the soap, one of the soap things, one of the instructions, which I did not try out but looked more kid friendly because it was more like playing with your hands. But once again, if you want to try out all the different tutorials they have in the little booklet, you can't, because there's no soap left. I think the instructions were really clear, but they had a few issues. For example, when I was doing the suspended in a perfume soap bar, one which I did 3 times because I like the idea of it, they said pour straight from when you've heated up in the microwave, and I think even though it's not a bad idea normally if you're not doing embeds inside the soap, but because you are doing an embed and they're all Mountain Paw, you come across the issue of maybe melting the Mountain Paw embed that you have in there while you're pouring the new layer, which is what an issue I had. And also adding to that, the layers, it says pour about half of the soap into the mold and then put your embed in, then pour the second one after that's dried. But when I poured half in, it's really hard to see the embed itself. I wish I could explain it, but I kind of showed you. It's just really difficult, that tutorial. So, yes. And also it came with a little bit of useless packaging. The packaging that the soap itself came in, and the little titanium dioxide cubes came in, which is a bit useless. It's quite big for like nothing, but that's alright. It wasn't like excessive packaging, it's just a bit like, oh, am I meant to use this thing? No instructions for it, so yeah. Overall, I think this is like a good kit for the price that I paid for it, but not for $30. I think there was another kit there that was half price normally, and that means it would have been, I think it would have been $10 instead of $20, which is a little bit more price-wise something that I'd be looking to pay if I was looking for a kit. That's $20 New Zealand, by the way, so it's like $10 US or so it's quite cheap. The one I paid for is 15 New Zealand, which I think is about a little bit less than $10 US. I guess it's kind of cheap, but not for me. It's like a whole hour's work for me. Anyway, I think that one might be more worth it, but there was less things to do in the kit, so like in terms of like playability of the kit, it was very like if you've got more than one child that you're doing with it, or you're doing it with a friend because you're old enough to do it on your own, then it's a bit of a not sure if it's a very fun activity to do over a long period of time. And soap is like something that does take a while to do, especially mountain pool, because you got to wait for it. You got to wait for it to melt and set and do all that stuff before you can have any fun with it. But it is like, in the end, I guess you get like a good result. It's just the contents in the thing itself were a bit odd in my opinion. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this little review. I don't think I'd buy a kit like this again, but I'd be more inclined to buy, as I mentioned in my last video, a kit like the one from Pure Nature or from New Zealand Soap and Candles. They seem more my thing because they're more suited towards someone who wants to do more soap stuff or candle stuff or something like that, than versus just like a fun kit. And the molds that they come with or scents that they come with are more, in my opinion, like kid friendly or something that you might want in your house versus rose. I'm not saying rose is a bad scent, it's just not my go-to scent. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more from me, let me know, and don't forget to subscribe. I never say that, but yeah. I hope you guys like this video. I'll see you guys all next time with another video. Bye!